Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today, we're going to be taking a look at the last moon on Halo 5 on a map Parallax that you can find in multiplayer. So, previously on Astronomy with Generalkidd, we we took a look at two other moons on this map. The farthest one out is the first one we looked at almost like a month ago. And we determined that this moon, all the way out here, is actually the real world moon Europa. See, on the left in this image is the Halo 5 Europa, and on the right is the actual NASA image of Europa. And you can see there's some very definitive matching features. And then a week ago, we determined that this moon out here is actually not really a moon at all, but rather, it is actually the real world planet Mercury. And this one was tricky because 343 made a lot of editing to it. They rotated it, they changed the color and everything, but we still managed to find the matching features on it, the very distinct matching features. Now, that just left this one moon here. For a while, I thought this moon might have been Callisto. Other people thought it was Ganymede, but we weren't sure until now. And with the help of the community and several astronomy experts and a lot of people looking for matching patterns and features, we finally determined that my original suspicion was correct, that this moon is indeed Callisto. So here's the Halo 5 version up close of the moon Callisto. Here's the actual NASA image of the moon Callisto. So just take a gander there, take a close look, and here they are side by side. So, it's time for our little comparison. So just look closely and rewind if you need to. But first up, there's these three spots on the moon that form like an upside down L shape here. And then followed by three more spots that form a line here. And they're in the same position as well. And then very distinctly, there's four dots here that form a bigger L. And then in the corner here, there's a very bright spot that is consistent in the same location. And then down here are three smaller spots, but very distinct still, that form a triangle when you connect the dots. So, there you have it. Can definitively say that that is indeed the moon Callisto. But with extremely heavy editing on 343's part, they made it very difficult to spot out the features from Callisto. And Callisto itself is it's pretty hard to spot the features anyways because the moon is covered in like spots all over. So it's hard to find like really unique features. But anyways, so to get up close to Callisto, because we want to get our space program off the ground, you need to spawn a whole row of kill balls like you saw back there, and that's going to overload the map. And you know the map is overloaded when you change teams and it leaves a clone behind. So once that is done, you will need to use the prefab here that I have in my file share, or a lot of other people have in their file share too, but I've made sure that it's public so you guys can easily access it from my file share. But you just need this prefab. I call it the barrier buster, and just hop in, and because the map's overloaded, you'll be able to fly through the death barrier and, well, not die. So I recommend you fly from under the map to get out of the barrier, because sometimes it's a little tricky to get out. But once we're out of the barrier, all we gotta do is just make our way towards the moon Callisto. So you'll know you're out past the barrier when your shade turret becomes invisible. So just make sure you are totally invisible and you'll be on the right track. And if all is well, then just head towards Callisto. Set course. Set course for that moon. But yeah, so basically Callisto and Europa, they're both Jovian moons, which means they're both moons orbiting around Jupiter, while Mercury is obviously the first planet in our solar system orbiting around the sun. So just keep that in mind. I was kind of disappointed that the moon that we thought was Ganymede, which was Mercury, I was kind of disappointed that was actually Mercury, because that was a curveball on 343's part. Because I was hoping like all these would be like Jovian moons, and that this blue planet here was like actually Jupiter, but turned into like a blue supergiant somehow, almost like a reference to the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. Actually, no, the sequel to that, 2010, The Year We Made Contact. But anyways, yeah, let's take a little epic flight towards the moon, and I'll be back once we get there. here we are. We've arrived at Callisto. Isn't space travel a lot more exciting when there's epic music in the background of it? Because if you saw the timer in the bottom right corner during that flight, I sped it up, but it was a long flight. Because that's how big maps are on Halo 5. But unfortunately, most of that is not usable space. But yeah, so we are getting up close to Callisto now, and as you can see, 343 made a lot of changes, even more than the Mercury moon. Not moon, the Mercury planet. Or I guess moon in this case. But they made a lot of changes to that, so to throw us off so that we wouldn't be able to spot it. Europa was easy to spot because that's barely any changes made to that. But Mercury had a lot of changes to it, like, it was flipped, color was changed, other colors added, and Callisto here was also changed even more. And of course it's flat because we all know 343 are flat earthers. Just kidding, but for Callisto's changes, not only did they change the color and added so many different spots to it and different like textures and everything, but they also added like these glowing spots to it. Like it looks like it's fire, and it's actually animated too. Like the lights, like they're pulsing. If you look up close, they're getting brighter and then getting dimmer, almost like there's some kind of battle or going on, like some fire, but or like even like city lights even. But yeah, they changed a lot about Callisto, so that's why Callisto was the hardest to spot out in my opinion, because the hard part about Mercury is that it was like flipped and the color was changed, so you had to like kind of like tilt your head at it to be able to spot it out. But for Callisto, it was so different. There's barely any features left from it. It's almost unrecognizable. But like I said, thanks to the help of the community, everyone came together. We got some astronomy experts, people with good eyes, able to spot the patterns out. We figured it out, and we've determined that it is Callisto definitively, and that is the last moon on this map. So we figured out all the moons here, and they are all actually based on real moons. So it's a little Easter egg from 343 there. There were those who doubted this was an Easter egg, and there were also those who said this day would never come. What are they to say now? I'm not gonna be too corny, but anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did and found it to be interesting, make sure to leave a like as always, and make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments. If there's anything else for me to check out or any possible Easter eggs I want me to explore, just let me know, and I'll do my best to look into it when I get the chance. But other than that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.